You are wrestling fans, and we are the degenerates that like to talk about it. This is Kicking At It Too. I am Michael. With me, as always, is Tori. Hey, Tori.
Good
We
evening.
also have a wild Kai with us today.
And I'm not always here.
No, she is not always here. Um, we are going to talk about Friday Night Smackdown. Little better than Raw.
I thought it had a little more direction at least.
Yeah. So it does make me a little more hopeful that maybe we were wrong and it was just an off show.
It's just a,
Vince
yeah, it's
isn't
just
getting
a,
his words back in. But
I do want to start with props to Michael Cole and the WWE for mentioning Jay Briscoe and letting guys that had worked with him wear armbands that said something. The Viking Raiders had Dim Boys because
mhm.
as War Machine, they had huge feuds with them. Um, Kevin Owens had one. I didn't notice if Sammy did, but I think that's pretty much it that's there from ROH.
If he did, I'm not sure you could have told because of the
Yeah,
shirt. I
but
think that
I just props to the WWE.
yeah,
Very, very classy. Very
very good.
classy.
A lot like they did on NXT, them bringing it up. Um, a bit of a surprise still to hear that kind of thing happen on the WWE television, but definitely good for them. Since in case someone's watching this show and is not watching our Dynamite coverage, a little bit of a Jay update. So Jay's daughter was going in for surgery. She is getting feeling back in her lower extremities after that surgery. So
Very
glad
good
that she's
news.
making a bit of a
Very
recovery
good
there.
news.
Um, so that means that both kids seem to be in a good direction. So
That's a win all around.
yeah, absolutely. And then we go from a win all around to what the hell is this? Smackdown Tag Team Title Tournament. We had Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus the Viking Raiders. Um, oh boy! First of all, it was a hard fought match. It was definitely hard hitting, which I'm not surprised with any of these four guys in the ring. Um, but ultimately, we got Sheamus and McIntyre getting the win, kind of with a combination. We had the I forgot his thing.
Claymore.
Claymore. There we go. Thank you. Brain fart
Claymore on
today.
the bro kick.
Yeah, and the Brogue Kick on the other side. They got the pin.
It was
But the Viking Raiders got to kind of steal the show a little bit today. So I mean, it was definitely a better matchup.
I still don't you put all this work into bringing them back and you put them in a match with a not even real tag team and they lose.
Be
Like
be careful. You're talking like me now.
why?
I agree.
I get that Sheamus, Drew have beef with the bloodline, blah blah blah. Why? Like,
Yeah.
why didn't you put them in there against somebody you don't care about them losing to, like Los Lotharios?
hmm
Nobody cared.
Yeah, if they would have put them in there against Los Lotharios, Hit Row, any other team that
Right.
we know is not going to make it through this, at least get them a win under their belt before putting them against somebody else. Um, I also don't like where we seem to be going with this. I'm not a big fan of the Sheamus and McIntyre getting another shot at the Usos.
I'm not a big fan of the name they're using for Sheamus and McIntyre.
Like the Banger Bros.
And apparently they're aware of what it sounds like and they don't care.
Nope, they do not
You're
at
gonna
all.
care when one kid messes that up and his mom throws a fit.
hmm Uh, clear your search history, kids. Clear your search history. Um, but no,
Something
it
we
was
learned as children. Something we learned as kids. Clear your browser history.
that's right.
Set that shit to delete when you log out.
That's the number one thing I have in my will is that when I die, I need someone to do that for me. Um,
I got you. I got you.
I appreciate it. Well, here's the thing, though. I don't know if I trust you because you're still telling people I hit someone with a chair to quit. So I just
Look, you can't argue with a great story.
don't disagree.
And the fact
That's a
that
story
people
for another time.
ask me about said story makes it even better. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. But yeah, so at least they got to show off a little bit. It was kind of fun. Um, I do agree though. We had Legado del Fantasma, we had Imperium, we had Hit Row. Like anybody could have lost this and been fine. Um, hell, you had Maximum Male Models.
Again, anybody but these two.
Yeah, but um, interesting, interesting to see that. But so we leave that and we go backstage. Excuse me, we go backstage. Roman Reigns is getting testy with Sami Zayn. Uh, so he's sitting, we got Reigns sitting up front. We got the wise man behind him. We got Sami Zayn over to his left, and he's like, "Hey, Sammy, I know, like something's going on here. So just be honest with me. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. And everything's fine, Tribal Chief. Everything's fine. It's okay."
I need Paul Heyman to teach a class in NXT about facial expressions
Hmm.
because watching him through all of this
Massively
is a,
enlightening.
it's a master class in making things seem important
Yeah.
without saying a word.
He could work on analogies a little bit, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Uh, so Sammy's trying to assure him everything's fine. Roman, no, no, no. Tell the truth. Truthful communication. That's what we need in the bloodline. So he says, "Well, you gave me this job that I had to take care of the KO problem, and instead of letting me take care of it, the Usos came down, um, Solo came down, and like I felt a little slighted, and I got Kevin Owens, and he's telling me that I'm being used, and just for a second, and then he stops himself before he goes on with that statement because he realizes he's about to screw up. So he stops at that point, um, and then Reigns just softly says, "Just get out."
That's like that snap of this is easily we're still getting the best Roman Reigns we've ever gotten.
Yeah. Um, just that slight little just get out. He tells him like I'm not going to do this every week. Like you're telling me now, I've got to make sure my plan is okay with the honorary oops. I've got to run all my plans through you. Who do you think you are? Just get out. So dejected, Sammy walks away. And then Paul Heyman leans into his ear, wise man that he is, says, when it comes to Sami Zayn, maybe it's better to have him on the inside of the castle hissing out instead of the outside of the castle hissing in. Which I don't I don't know how much I like the
Terrible analogy, but it makes
it
sense.
makes sense. I'm not sure I'm a
As
big fan
only
of the
Paul
analogy.
Heyman can make it make sense,
Yeah.
but it makes sense.
But basically saying, if he's going to be
Better to have
causing
him with us
trouble,
than against us.
yeah, it's better to have him causing trouble for us than against us. So maybe we need to smooth this out a little bit. Um, which leads us to a segment later. Uh, then, sorry, my screen refreshed. We get LA Knight in action, which I was just saying last week. Like I missed LA Knight being out there. Um, first of all, they had him against a big old boy. I don't know if you saw
It's
the
just
size of that dude.
he was a big guy, but did we at any point think he was losing?
Oh no,
This is
no.
my problem. This is my problem with these squash matches on Raw and SmackDown.
Hmm.
You want a squash match? Put it on main event. Don't put it on here.
See, I'm okay with the splattering of them. The fact that and I'm not bashing AEW, but the fact that AEW seems to do one every week, it's too much. But
I
once in a
agree.
while, throwing in like an enhancement talent to do something, especially like this, because there wasn't really a match. Uh, LA comes out there, he runs his mouth at the start of it, basically saying it's his game. That's not a. I keep forgetting the first part of his damn thing. Anyway, he says it's a fact of life, and then he gets to start to attack Greg Jones, which is the guy that's in there. And this kid looks like he's going to be something at some point. Uh, but they start to get into it, and then you get the Bray Wyatt symbols on the screen. He starts to attack him a little bit more. Bray Wyatt symbols on the screen, and then we see something very familiar. We see Sister Abby up there, the little puppet, and it pans over to a couple of the other puppets, leading to Rambling Rabbit, who says, "Hey, we're back!" And then we get a funnier version of Bray Wyatt, which is always how the Firefly Funhouse was. Him bent over fixing the door, and then he goes, "I can see you," sounding like his normal dementing self. And then flips the switch, and then we get Funhouse Bray. Uh, says, "I'm so glad you guys are back. I missed you guys so much." Um, Rabbit immediately pops off with, "Hey, that LA Knight guy, he seems really cool. Like, can you invite him to the Funhouse?" In which case, Witch Abby tells him to shut the f up. He does mention though that he's also afraid of the dark, which Bray leans down and, "Let me talk to you a minute, playa." Uh, Tells him, maybe it is okay for you to be afraid of the dark because that's the time where evil creatures and things that want to get you and things that want to hide under your bed can get you. Um, which then leads to beep, beep, beep. TV in the funhouse pops up. It's Uncle Howdy. I told you. I told you all you needed was a nudge.
They're starting to make this more interesting, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. Um, and then the final little bit from Bray is like you get very solace Bray in front of the door. And he says, "You're the one that opened the door. And what comes out of that door, you're going to have to do." Then we go to commercial, which is, I think, always how those things should end. Because we were going for a while where you get the Uncle Howdy things, and then it kind of sits there for a minute. No, no, no. Say the line, go to commercial. Let's cut that off before it gets hokey. Um, but definitely a very fun little thing. Knight does end up getting the win before all this happens, which I don't think anybody's surprised about. Um, really kind of fun. That leads us to another SmackDown Tag Team Title Tournament match: Los Lotharios versus Hit Row. This was a match that
I
happened.
didn't even watch it. I don't. I literally did not watch a single second of this match.
I watched it, and I mean, Hit Row has a presence, but there is just something about them in the ring right now that I am not interested in at all, and I don't know what it
Something
is.
they're missing something.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think if they bring Carmelo up and put him with Hit Row, it'll make the difference. The problem is neither one of the two guys they have are leaders.
Yeah.
They don't give off a leadership presence. And when you have a group like this, you have to have some form of leadership.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I will say, like, the little bit that they did with Ricochet when they beat him down, like, that got me interested.
Right.
In this match, they got a sneaky win. Like, I don't,
Over Los Lotharios,
yeah, like they should have beat them down,
they should have beat the brakes off those kids.
but we are
But
where
that's what
we
I'm saying. It just I didn't even watch the match. I didn't care.
are. Cold cracking a joke was kind of funny though. He said Top Dollar has an issue staying grounded. Um,
Michael Cole the Savage.
which I think they're trying to do a thing between them and Cole. Not like
Please
a
don't.
not like hopefully not like a WrestleMania situation. However, um, Hit Row does constantly go to the desk to badmouth Michael Cole when they're doing something. So maybe that's where we're going with that. That leads us to an in-ring promo with Charlotte, still out there getting cheers. Nobody's tired of her yet, and I'm glad to see that. Um, he is interrupted by Sonya Deville, who, if we remember right, kept saying, "I'm going to make a way for this match to happen." Charlotte goes out there and basically says the same thing that Adam said last week, which is, "You keep coming out here and you keep asking for these matches like you deserve them. You don't deserve a match." Um, but she
The
does
problem
say,
is the problem is at no point should Charlotte be saying that.
"No." Well, and that's the thing, though. So Charlotte does kind of turn that around, though, and says, "But if you want one, let's do it right now." Which Sonya backpedals off, playing good heel. But then Adam comes out and said, like, "Sonya, what are you doing? Like, we just had this conversation last week, and like in the midst of him saying something, whoop-pow, Sonya starts to like just knock the hell
Just a
out of
cheap shot
Charlotte.
and hit and run.
Yep, and gets out of there. Which we know what this is going to lead up to. No one wants to give her the match, but Charlotte's going to give her the match because she just wants to beat the brakes off her, and that's fine.
Right.
I'm good with that. Um, I'm going to guess probably it's going to be a throwaway match at Royal Rumble,
Or it's
with-
Friday.
or it's Friday.
Or it's
Um,
Friday and Sonya puts herself in the Rumble.
Yep, that could be good too. Um, Interesting things that Sonya was saying. Like, it's weird how she was trying to make it seem like Charlotte's thinking she's better than everybody else. Don't you think these other girls out here are stars? That's a weird way to take it, a weird place to take it when Charlotte's supposed to be our face. But
Well, but when Sonya's trying to prove she's a star
mhm,
and trying to say Charlotte's taken away from everybody, I you know, I get it.
yeah. This leads us to another SmackDown Tag Title tournament. I do love a tournament, but maybe not all in one night. But we get the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium, which is an odd choosing to me because you have Drew and Sheamus in it, and now you've got Brawling Brutes and whatever. Um, However, Imperium comes out on top of this one. Um,
Which they should have.
they should
Bartel
absolutely.
and Eichner are a much better team, and they haven't tried to break Big E's neck.
Oh, ow! Um,
Where's the lie?
I, hey, listen, Bobby Fish. Um, First of all, Giovanni Vinci and Ludwig Kaiser. I know what the joke is.
Bartel and Eichner? Yeah, go ahead. You were saying?
Sorry, I was interrupted. Um, they end up coming out on top of this one, and like you said, rightfully so. They definitely should have won this match, especially because like, what kind of dynamic would that be if you have the Brawling Brutes versus the Banger Bros? That'd have been weird. Um, Wade Barrett said a nice little thing. He said he was saying "Ridge the Fridge." It's England's answer to William Perry. Nice little touch from him. And then the next one,
Why? Because Rich Holland tried to break his neck too?
uh, uh, Legado del Fantasma versus the Maximum Male Models. First of all, it's good to see the models out there. Like,
They found Marseille wherever he was.
yep, they found Masse, and here's the thing: if they could, I know they're having fun with this gimmick. You can tell by all the stuff that they record. It looks like they're having a blast with it. If they could get that gimmick off of Brendan, I'm just going to call him Brendan. He is going to be a
Who?
damn star. Masse.
Oh.
Uh,
Oh, he was the announcer. That's right.
yeah. The facials, the
He's talented in
entertaining,
the ring.
and the
Montour is talented in the ring too.
oh, he is, no doubt about that. But just like, big dude, he's agile, he's limber, he has the entertaining factor. That dude could be a world champ at some point, just not with this gimmick.
Yeah.
So, as much as I love things like Tyler Breeze and Fandango, hopefully he doesn't get saddled like that, where this is his gimmick from now on.
Yeah,
Uh, so as I said earlier, entertaining about this was we had Zelina on commentary.
she's so fun.
That too. Um,
That is a smoke show. Her and Maxine jawing at each other was pretty entertaining too.
what's that?
Her and Maxine jawing at each other
Yeah.
was pretty entertaining too.
I enjoyed Zelina talking about how the models look was like very pedestrian and talking smack about the models and how they were dressed. Um, Obviously, though, Legado del Fantasma comes off with the win with this. I don't think anybody thought male models were going to move on. But ending it with this match, though, it does bring you again to like why couldn't the War Raiders have been somewhere
Yeah,
else in this tournament? Um,
right?
because they could
Why
have,
wasn't that match the last match too?
yeah.
Like, you didn't think that those 4 were big enough to be basically your main event?
Hmm. Um, Little fun parts of this match, though. It was fun to see Cole reference the YouTube stuff that the models have been doing because he did say specifically, "Look, they found Masse."
Yeah,
So that was fun. Um, Backstage again, we have Paul Heyman saying to Sami Zayn, "The tribal chief will see you now." Calls him back in there, and Zayn sits down, and
he apologizes, which
yeah, that waterboarding 101, man. Waterboarding 101.
honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of.
Really?
Just you've built Roman up to be this character, and then you have him apologizing to Sammy? I get it, I get why, but I would have done it differently.
I don't know. To me, this was an extension of the one that happened a few weeks back, where it's just he's doing it just to reel him in some more. It's going to make that heartbreak later amazing. Um,
That heartbreak is gonna be brutal for all of us too.
but so Sammy sits down. Uh, Roman's like, there's a reason that I had the wise man where he is. He helps keep me in check. Helps curb the passion that I have sometimes. Um, and he's done that now. So look, I get it. You're a perfectionist. You want to know the whole plan. You're like me. I always have to know every single step that's going on. I get it. You're like me. So I'm sorry. And Sammy goes to leave and mirroring what happened earlier in the night, he put the fist out, but this time he got the fist bump back. Which ironically enough is a fun little callback to back when it was the Shield. And Sami Zayn tagged with Roman back then, and he got left hanging with a little fist bump. Uh, so fun little playback to that. But he says, "Okay, so I need you to do something for me. I need you to make sure the jet's ready, make sure the Usos are packed, ready to go, make sure Solo's ready to go, because I want to go out here, I want to sign this contract, and I want to get the hell out of this town." He says, "Absolutely, I'll go take care of that. It's taken care of, no
It's
problem."
done.
He leaves, and again, Paul Heyman slowly up to the air. "Thank you, my tribal chief." He's back. Um, I like that because now it's starting to seem a little puppetry.
I started to say it's starting to look like Heyman's pulling the strings.
Yeah, so be interesting to see where that goes. Wild Kai is leaving the building.
Like the Texas tornado.
Leads to the main segment of the night, which is what the entire through point's been for, is Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns going to sign this contract. Uh,
Why do we do these? Why? Like it's like like Xavier said, have you never watched wrestling?
I think that's
You
why,
know how these are
though.
gonna go.
There's some tropes that are fun to still see once in a while.
And this is
And
it.
Just put it on the mascot. Thank you. As I'm saying, I think it's one of those fun tropes. It's like the marriage. Like you're having a wrestling
No
wedding,
wedding's gonna go
something's
well.
going to get screwed
No,
up.
no wedding is ever gonna go well in wrestling. It doesn't
Unless
matter who it is. It doesn't matter what's happening.
I don't know,
It's not gonna go well.
Indy and Shaw, that one went all fine.
That's fair, but that's also NXT.
Yes, well, that's the only one that's ever went fine. Um, I mean, even when the people actually get married, like Elizabeth and Randy, it still ends in chaos. Uh, but I digress. We get the extremely long entrance for Roman Reigns. Um, he gets out there, he gets sat down, um, and then almost immediately, Kevin Owens comes out of nowhere, attacks Solo, and stuns the hell out of Roman Reigns.
And then takes out the Usos,
Hmm.
then goes back in the ring, hits Roman with the pop-up power bomb through the table,
Hmm.
signs the contract. About that time, Sammy hits the ring. He throws him the clipboard and dips out.
Hmm.
That could not have been a better ending. They could not have done a
No.
better ending than that.
Little fun points of that just to kind of make a little bit more filler for it. So he does the pop up power bomb, puts him through the table. He turns and he looks at Paul, and Paul again, like he has to teach a class about that kind of stuff
The
because he is
masterclass.
cowering in the corner. Like
There
I'm just the wise
yeah,
man. I'm just,
yes. I'm
um,
it
in which case
it
he
harken back to the "I'm just an advocate. I'm just an
yeah.
advocate."
And then he reaches over, he grabs that contract, signs it. At that point, Sammy finally comes out, which is going to be a thing that's going to be talked about because he didn't come out until that moment. But he was also told to go take care of the stuff, so he
And Kevin
couldn't be.
throws it to him, and he catches that and is standing there holding it when Kevin runs out, and Kevin's standing on the stairs with that smile on his face like, "Oh, yeah, no, dude, I just screwed your entire world, bro."
Hmm. Well, and that's the thing. So like he tosses the contract to Sammy, and then he tosses it to him. He looks at him, and he just has that sly little smirk on his face. And is that smirk, "I just screwed up your world," or is that
Yes,
smirk like, "This went off without a hitch, man"?
both. I think it's meant to see, I totally think this is gonna come out that Sammy and Kevin had a plan,
Yeah, I could see that.
and this is gonna be one of those, "This went like we exactly like we wanted, and that's what this look was."
So
So,
we'll see where that goes, but definitely gonna be fun to see.
the show itself wasn't great, this made up for all of it.
Yeah. Well, and it's not that it was a bad show. It's just we there was some questionable booking. Um, I understand that the tournament we got to get that over and done with so we can get the match for Royal Rumble. I get that. Um, So the rest of the night had to go the way it did to get us to where we need to be. Having this as the through line again, like that's always my favorite thing when there's something tying in the night. It was definitely a good thing all the way from the start because you had the start of Sammy getting out of the stretch navigators or whatever it was, and like he is my dog this and my dog that and
He's
bloodlines
hyped.
here and he is hyped ready to go it, and then like he reaches for that little fist bump, and Roman just walks right past him.
And the defeat that falls over his face.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, like I said, the matches weren't anything special to write home about, but this made the show a good show.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
and like you'd mentioned earlier, they have changed the tribal chief recognition or whatever to the trial of Sami Zayn. I just sent you the picture of it. Oh, that shit's gonna be so good.
Yep.
But to me, it comes down to we're not doing the other one because The Rock wasn't available.
Yep. Well,
That's what I feel like it was.
yeah, it could be. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like we're gonna have a trial of Sami Zayn come Monday, and that's gonna be fun to watch to
I
see what goes
wonder if
on
they're
with it.
gonna make that the whole show,
Just kind of tie
like,
it through.
kinda weave it through like they did this one.
Hopefully, I do like one of the like closing moments of the show. Uh, we have Owen standing among the fans, staring down the bloodline. He's definitely a superstar. He's definitely slowly has become not to the same level because I don't think anybody will ever be to the same level, but he's definitely reaching that stone cold man of the people
I
type
knew
of
exactly where
character.
you're going with that, and you're 100% right.
Um, him just
Because face turn, heel turn, he still gets cheered,
mhm,
and Austin was the same way.
yep.
He was the biggest heel in the company at one point and still was getting cheered like crazy.
Um, just to kind of end the video with a little bit of fun stuff. Wasn't nearly enough news to make a news episode, but just a couple of things that popped up. We talked about the J thing already, so thank God for that. Um, there was Rocky Romero did an interview, and Fightful selected the transcript for it. He had mentioned that if AJ had not gotten hurt, that he was going to come with Anderson to New Japan for Wrestle Kingdom,
That would have been big.
which would have
It
been
would have been
awesome.
big.
Um, it it would have been cool to have the club there, and maybe Gallows would have showed up then too. I don't know, but
I wonder if AJ was healthy, if they would have just went ahead and sent Gallows and
yeah,
maybe even Mia.
that would have been fun too. Just to have the whole club there. Well,
Yeah,
especially because like we had Bullet Club representation there, and here's one of those things. Like I like New Japan, I really do. But here's one of the things that makes WWE who they are. If that would have happened, WWE would have played on that all night. There would have been looks in the back, there would have been conversations in the back, and they would have played that all night long. New Japan wouldn't have done that. It would have just been the club comes out for this match, Bullet Club comes out for that match,
you
and
also had Kenny Omega in the building too,
yeah, where like there would have been something had it been
100%.
a WWE event. Um, it makes me hope that maybe more like this stuff could happen, and maybe WWE lends some of their producers says, "Hey, look, let's try to have a little fun with this."
Yeah,
Because, that itself, if you think about it, was another forbidden door.
yeah, very
So,
much so.
um, another bit of just a little bit of good stuff. So, they're in Sydney. WWE's in Sydney right
Okay.
now. Xavier Woods took a picture um, at a restaurant called Karen's, which I don't know if you ever heard of this restaurant. It's another one of those where the wait staff gets to be as mean as they want to because they're
It's like
Karens.
Big West Resort.
Yeah. But the thing I want to mention about it is Big E was with him, and I
Really?
don't know what that means, but Big E went to
Was
Sydney.
in Australia with him.
Yeah. So,
Well, Kofi just did an interview, and they asked him about that, and he said they're not getting the healing in the bone, I think he said,
mhm,
that they wanted. He said, but the healing process is going great. They're just not getting that. Basically, if I'm not a doctor, I don't even play one on TV. Like the calcification of the spine, it's not regrowing the way they want.
right.
So he's avoided surgery so far. I don't know if that means he will. The person asked if Biggie was coming back, and he said, "I don't know." At this point, even if you brought him back for a non-physical role, it'd be great.
It
Put him
would
on the
be.
outside. Put him on the outside. Just putting the first time you run him out there, the place is going to go crazy.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter where it is. The place is going to go bananas.
I want him on commentary just so he can have the tagline, "Big meaty men slapping meat." That would be his ducky ducky quack quack or whatever it
Ducky,
is.
ducky, quack, quack.
Yeah.
I need him on commentary if they put the title on Xavier.
Mhm.
That would be amazing.
Which I've been thinking about it, and I think I may have to one of these weeks book that out myself.
Xavier win the title?
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
because the man needs it.
I agree. 100%.
One time, give him the belt.
100%. I don't care if it's a hold this for a week.
Mhm.
It needs to be on the resume because it's the only thing missing.
Yep. Well, he's the only one missing,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like you, other two have already had world titles. Give him one. Don't make him the Marty of this team.
And there's no reason to think he can't carry it.
No, he would be entertaining as hell coming out
He'd
there.
be a great world champion too. Great face for the company. Like his up, down, down stuff, the party, all of that would be amazing if he had the title.
Hmm.
That shit would be so good.
He would be so obnoxious. It would be
Yes.
so much fun.
He would drive Kofi nuts.
Um, I'm not even thinking Kofi. I'm thinking about him doing his GM mode stuff with Breeze
Oh
and
yeah.
saying,
That
"Hey,
title sitting on it.
did you ever get one of these? No, that's right, you didn't."
Oh yeah, no, that stuff would be amazing. That would be so funny.
So much fun. Um, and find a little bit of news while we're talking about up, down, down. WWE 2K finally put out a little teaser.
Okay?
It had Austin Theory, and he was saying, "This man can no longer duck me," and so he takes his chair and he's swinging it at nothing. And he goes, "I don't even know if he's in here." So there's a lot of speculation that the cover of this year's is going to go to John Cena again, which means that there would be some sort of John Cena showcase. We had one before. I want to say it was in 2K14,
It was forever ago.
I think.
Something like that.
Um,
I definitely think we're getting Austin Theory, John Cena at Mania, and I definitely think this is one of those passing the torch things.
yeah,
Because I definitely think as much as I'm not a fan, I definitely think that if he keeps growing and getting better in every way, Austin Theory is the face of the company in the future.
I don't disagree. The kid's talented. He's got good mic skills.
Yeah, very much.
He, and again, I hate using the next or this or anything like that, but he definitely looks like the next coming of John Cena.
Yeah,
If you think about those ruthless
100%.
aggression promos, he's right there.
Yeah. No, I agree. There's some things that probably could be polished up a little, but in general,
Like a new
it's his
finisher.
world to go and screw it up somehow. That's what it comes down to.
Yep. And the thing that makes me a little worried about that is I don't see him hanging a lot with the crew on Up, Down, Down, and to me, that's kind of the litmus test of what do you do when the cameras are off? Where do you go when the cameras are off? If you're not back there hanging with the crew,
You're not hanging with the boys. What are you doing?
yeah, um,
Now that doesn't mean he's not hanging with anybody, but even Cena's done appearances with
with New
Up,
Day,
Up, Down, Down,
yeah,
or with the guys. I mean, there was a video of him talking to Kofi and Woods, and one of the Usos walked up and said, "Hey," and talked to him, and he walked off. And Cena looked at the camera like,
yep,
like you weren't supposed to see that kind of thing.
yep,
So no, I definitely Austin Theory is the future of his company.
yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, and it's another one of those like, I mean, we can badmouth Vince all day long. I don't think he went about it the right way, but he had the eye for the talent. He knew this kid
I
was
agree.
talented, and he knew he was going somewhere. Um, he just gave him a bad storyline to go with it. Because him being back there in the office while Vince grumbles and makes weird noises, coughing the phlegm that's in the back of his throat, uh, wasn't the way to go with that. But um, I do look forward to Raw. See kind of what we do with that. We've got the Raw 50th, I think it is, or 40th, but
30th.
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 Oh, that's right, 30 because Triple X. That's right.
I could do without all these old people, but whatever.
Um, as long as it's leading up to something, as long as we don't end up in an FTR situation, um, where they go out there and completely run down someone that should be higher up the card, that should show that they're more talented. Um, you know,
I just I get it. I do. I get it. But there's like 18 or 20 people advertised for this show.
yep.
We have 3 matches announced. Granted, they're big matches. We've got the Judgment Day Usos for the title, for the Raw tag titles.
Hmm.
Bailey, Becky in the cage, which you said Lita's going to be the referee for.
Yep.
And I don't remember what the third match is. Is it Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley?
I, I think that's happening. Why is the first result when I look up Raw preview, the Raw preview from June 30th, 2014?
Well, we're not going to get Tony Khan getting a WWE belt. Jacksonville lost to Kansas City.
Oh no! Been the
I was really
greatest thing
hoping for
ever.
that too. That shit would have been so funny.
All right, so here's what we have announced so far. We have Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley for the U.S. Championship. We have the Usos versus Dominic and Damian. We have Becky Lynch versus Bailey in the cage match, and we have the Bloodlines acknowledgement ceremony.
Which is now the trial of Sami Zayn.
Yep. So far, the following legends are advertised:
Oh,
Undertaker,
God.
Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Ric Flair, Kurt Angle, Teddy Long, Jerry Lawler, Godfather, X Pac, Ron Simmons, Road Dogg, Alundra Blaze, Medusa. Her name's Medusa. You own WCW.
Let it
Call her
go. Call her
Medusa.
Medusa.
Ted DiBiase, IRS, Dallas Page, and Jimmy Hart. First of all, give me IRS in a funhouse. That's what. Give it to me. I
Did
want it.
you pay your taxes? He
Uh,
knocks on the door, opens it. Bray needs to make some comment about a parent. That's what I need.
hmm
I need some interaction between him, Bray, and Uncle whatever.
Uncle Howdy.
Yeah, because there's no chance that's not Bo.
Yeah.
And since those are his, yes, no, I need some kind of interaction between IRS and Bray Wyatt. I know Bray's not even on Raw, but I need this.
Yeah. Originally, both Bellas were advertised, but they weren't on the latest graphic.
Oh no,
So it
whatever
looks like
will
they
we do
be part of it.
without Brie to botch something?
Oh, you gotta be so mean. Uh,
I just call it like it is.
anyway, one other just since we're going over kind of future stuff. Another thing that was mentioned about the Royal Rumble in a basically some higher ups had talked to Fightful that they are making um, what was it? Basically saying that the surprises this year are going to be unconventional from what they used to, from what they have been.
Okay.
So it looks like we may get because we were just talking last week about
Yeah,
how if you have the same legends coming out every time, it's not special. So maybe that means we're
I
going to get some
agree.
people that we aren't expecting to come back, or maybe some people that we wouldn't expect at all.
That could be really interesting.
Yeah. Like
I'm
I don't
90.
want to jump the shark, but like, could you imagine Okada coming out?
My problem with that is I don't know that the fans would. I don't think there's enough fans that would know who he is.
I don't entirely disagree, but to me, that's why it would almost make it perfect because
Uh,
the smart fans would know,
oh, and we'd lose our minds.
and the fans there may or may not know. So he could have a decent showing, wouldn't have to be overpowering, and everybody's
Isn't he
happy.
the well? But
We're happy
he's
because
the
Okada's there. They're
isn't he the
happy.
IWGP champ?
Yes.
You
He's
can't have him job out to just anybody either, though.
no, 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 not at
If
all.
he goes out, it needs to be one of those he got thrown out throwing somebody out or momentum, whatever, with somebody that matters. Like Seth,
Ben,
Finn,
Ben would make sense.
Cody, somebody.
Cody would make a lot of sense. That's a good one too. I wasn't even thinking of Cody.
Think about Cody and Okada at WrestleMania.
I'd like it. I'd
I,
like it a lot.
no. Oh, Shinsuke.
That'd be good too.
Shinsuke Okada? That'd be
Anyway,
nice.
that's jumping the shark. I totally do
Yes,
not expect
100%.
Okada to show up.
100%.
However, having Mickey James
I
showing
wouldn't
back up, I think would be cool again, just because she's got the title again. Um,
I won't be surprised if Billy shows up,
I wouldn't be surprised either.
and I guarantee that crowd starts chanting, "Scissor me daddy."
Um, being that there's a lot of WWE alumni in Impact, and they worked that deal out with Mickey, seeing some of them pop in, seeing
Yeah.
Bully Ray pop in, seeing Fandango pop
Well,
in.
with Devon having just left, I don't see Bully Ray showing up.
I don't see it either. However, it would be fun.
Um, I'd like to see, you know what, if we're gonna go just people, I'd like to see Alan Angel show up. Alan Angel's from the Dark Order that's now an Impact.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
I'd be a big fan of that. Evil Uno showing up.
And -1 gets thrown out.
That would oh my god, run -1. I've look, if they ran -1 out there, I think that'd be the biggest pop of the night.
Whoa, whoa. Dark Order shows up in this Mountain Dew match. Anyway, that's enough jumping the shark for the night. But that would be amazing.
Just to have Bray do something Brody Lee when they do, that there would not be a better tribute.
No, that would be amazing. Um, but we can have
Anyway,
some fun fantasy booking another time.
yes,
We can go ahead and
do it on
close
a
out.
Royal Rumble preview next weekend.
That's right. Next weekend
For
we
the
are
week
going to do a Royal Rumble preview. We're going to talk about
week
what
from
we
tonight, the Rumble will be on right now.
yeah. We'll talk about what we think's going to happen, and maybe even do a little fantasy of what we hope's going to happen. Um, but that wraps us up for this episode of Kicking Out at Two. Thanks for spending your time with us. If you're enjoying our podcast, make sure to support us by sharing this particular episode and our channel. Hit us up on all of the socials down below. And if you want to catch our lexicon of what we currently have done, you can get that right here, youtube.com at Kicking Out at Two. Until next time, I'm Michael. This is Tori, and we will see you on the next one.